Hi, we're back cooking with Sharon. Can you all believe that it is almost fall? Well, it is fall, but it's almost winter too. Well, we have to have some options for that cold winter fall day or fall winter cold day. And I'm going to give you a good option. We're going to make a corn and crab chowder. And it's pretty simple. There are a few steps that we have to take, but trust me, it's going to be well worth it and you're going to enjoy it. So let's get started. As you see here, I don't know if you could see, but I've actually taken the time to shuck whole ears of corn and actually cut it off the cob. Now, you don't have to do that, but I like the freshness of sweet corn. So you can either do that or you can actually use frozen corn kernels. I would definitely not use the canned corn. I'm not a fan of any type of canned processed anything because of all the sodium and all the other stuff that they put in it. So if you want to take a few more steps, then you can actually go this route. So we have fresh corn, I have crab, I have minced some celery, we have white onions, and we also have red peppers. Now you can use any type of pepper that's, outside of like a green one. I like red. I don't have a yellow or orange one today, but for the color, pop of color, and the flavor content, I chose red today. And okay, y'all, I know I don't want to hear it, but I have people that have asked me for some non-vegan stuff and some non-vegetarian. So we're going all out today. You know, I love seafood, but as you see here, I have some good old-fashioned bacon. And we know y'all from the South, or even, us Northerners, I'm from the North, we love bacon, but, it's great flavor. That's why I'm using it today. If you don't want to use bacon, of course, I give you some other options. You can use turkey bacon. It's not going to be as flavorful, but that's another option. Or you don't have to have the bacon at all. If you just want a seafood or a vegetarian, you don't have to use a crab if you're a vegetarian. But we're going to use bacon today. So let's get started. Start off frying. I'm going to try to do this all in one or two pots. I'm not a fan of cleaning up afterwards, so if you have like a Dutch pot or a skillet, that would be ideal. The one I have here is just a little bit too big, so I'm not going to use that today. But we want to make our bacon, and we're going to get it as crisp as possible or close to it. So we're just going to fry this, and we're going to, once it's done, we're going to put it off to the side. And then we're going to have the bacon grease or oil. It's not oil, but it's grease. That's in here for our flavor of our chowder. So a lot of times with chowders, it's not as healthy. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to make it a little bit more healthy. Today, I actually have, this is veggie stock. You can actually use chicken stock that has a little bit more salt content. You have to be careful though if you're using veggie stock sometimes because that can be a little salty as well. So today we're going to use the veggie stock, and this is about almost 4 cups of stock. And I just pre-made it. If you don't have, what we use here is the powder kind of like content of the stock, but if you can use bouillon, there are bouillon cubes that are out there. You just want to make sure that you have almost 4 cups of the stock. And then if you don't have bouillon and you want to go really old school, you could actually boil some chicken and use that flavor or that stock from the chicken in your chowder. So you have options. The most economical, I think, and the easiest or the quickest would just be to get some bouillon cubes, or you can get what we have here in the bigger format, this, but they sell it smaller version too. But this is actually concentrated, so whenever I use a chicken stock, I actually dilute it almost by 6. And then, like I said, we're using veggie today. So we're going to make sure our bacon is fully cooked, of course. And then You want to also make sure, one thing I did do ahead of time, just to make sure that it's fully cooked, are my potatoes. These diced, just regular white potatoes here, I actually boiled down, and that's going to help with the overall quickness of making the chowder. If you have a lot of time and you want it to simmer, you can actually do everything at one time, but we're going to make it a little bit quicker for us today. I had to pre-boil these. So if you don't have, this recipe, you don't necessarily have to have potatoes. Like I said, we're going all out today with not being on the most healthy path because we have carb, and then bacon. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta cheat. Sometimes you just have to have that good savory food. It's okay. What you have to do after you eat, you just have to work out, or you just do it in moderation. You know, you don't have to eat like this all the time, but every once in a while, it's good to have good food. So from time to time, I am gonna show you some options where you can cheat a little bit. All right, so one other way that you can make this bacon, because I'm not a fan of frying bacon. We usually put it in the oven here, and it actually cooks a lot quicker and more evenly, but it's okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it do what it do and get it done. The main thing about this is that we want to use the contents of the grease that's coming from the bacon in our chowder. And then also, the reason why I want to make sure that this bacon is cooked completely and kind of crisp is because once we get done with the chowder, it's going to be our topping. You can use bacon as a topping, and then also onions or chives. That's a good topping for this chowder as well. One other thing that you can add to the chowder, if you wanted to, would be another type of pepper as well. Or not even add the crab, you can just leave it just as all vegetables. And then that way, it could be a vegetarian option, not vegan, but just vegetarian, because we do have this heavy cream here that we'll add in a little bit later. And then of course you wouldn't have bacon, of course, if you did the vegetarian option. Okay, so this is almost done. Oh man, like I said, I'm gonna take this out. This is pretty much done. And this right here. But one of the things that I'm gonna encourage you guys too is if there's a particular type of soup or chowder that you wanna see made, please add it to the comment. Make a suggestion, because I'm doing things that I love to make and that I love to eat, that are easy and good. So if there's something you want to see in particular, I'm not opposed to trying it out, because what? Sharing is caring. Okay, so this is almost done. And we don't want to burn it because we don't want that burnt flavor or taste in our chowder. So just make sure that your flame is a little lower. And I can already tell this is going to be good because we have the bacon grease. That's done. And next we're going to go to one more little piece that we need to cook completely. While that's cooking, I'm going to add in, we have these, let's see. If there's more than like 2 tablespoons of bacon grease, I would kind of spoon it out. But since we have, I think it looks like about 2 tablespoons, not even that, we're going to keep it in here. We don't want it too saturated with the oil or the grease of the fat from the bacon. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the celery right here, this diced celery, and this is about, I think I diced up about 3 stalks of celery. We're going to add that in along with our onions. and our red pepper. And I think our bacon is done now. See? Perfect. All right, so we'll use that bacon grease from there, and then we're going to also put in our red pepper. And this is, I didn't use a full whole red pepper. It's about 3/4 of one. All this is diced up. We want to make sure that it gets nice and soft. We'll cook this for about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, just so it's a little bit soft. And then, I don't know if you can see here, but I also have flour, all-purpose flour. It's about 2 tablespoons of flour, and I didn't go over the ingredients, but I also have, of course, minced garlic, as well as black pepper, and I have cumin, as well as, we want to make this a little bit like with a kick or a spice or a flair, and this is like a Cajun seasoning, as well as salt. So we have everything here all ready, and it's cooking down nicely right here. And if you don't think you have enough of the oil or the grease from the bacon, that's no problem. That's why I have over here, just as a side, some butter. I don't think we're going to need to use it today, but just in case, because it's a nice consistency right here of everything. And let's see. Yeah, I don't think we need any more right at the moment. So while this is cooking, we will add in our flour and we'll whisk it. One thing you definitely want to have is a whisk. It's going to make the consistency of everything a lot more smoother, and you're not going to have the lumpiness. We have the flour to make the whole chowder a little bit like thicker. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to add in our flour, and we're going to whisk it just a little. As you're whisking this, we're going to add in slowly our stock, our veggie stock. Okay. We've done this on another recipe, I believe, before, where you want to pour this in slowly so it's I'm sorry, I'm losing a train of thought. We want to keep some of the thickness and the consistency of our chowder. So we're going to add this gradually, and we're going to let it simmer in a minute. So we want to make sure that our corn is cooked. Like I said, you remember I shucked it off and I cut it off of the cob. So we're going to keep adding in our veggie base. And then we're going to add in the corn, and we're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Okay. And then, like I said, the potatoes are already pre-cooked or halfway cooked, which is good because we want to make sure that we have soft potatoes. We'll add in our corn. And this is about 4 stalks that I've used. I like mine with a lot of corn in it. But again, it's your personal preference. So your flame should be on about medium. And then we're going to add in the potatoes as well and have this simmer for about, like I said, 15 minutes or so. So while it's simmering, I have cumin right here. We're going to add in some cumin. It's about maybe 2 teaspoons, 2.5 teaspoons we'll add in, as well as I'm going to add in some Cajun seasoning. as garlic, a little bit of garlic, like a teaspoon and a half of garlic, and black pepper, about a teaspoon. Okay. So again, this is something so simple and easy that you can do at home. And it's going to be so amazing on that cold winter day. All right. Or even fall. I'm going to add in a little bit more potatoes. I think I made too many, but that's all right. We're carboning it up. And then you want to wait. We're going to wait to add the crab towards the end along with another step. So let me just make sure that the base flavor is good. Yes, I can tell already. It's going to be amazing. All right, and we're going to let this simmer for about 15 minutes. And we will be back to finish it off. Okay, this has been simmering for about 15 minutes. It looks amazing. One thing that I did do while it was simmering is I added in just a little bit more flour. And again, the flour is to thicken it. So we started off with about 2 tablespoons of flour. I added in probably, just because I added in too much liquid. So to thicken it up just a little bit more, I added in about 2 more tablespoons of flour. So I whisked it in and while it was simmering. So the last steps that we want to do is we want to add in, I didn't tell you my secret. Well, it's not really secret, but it's going to add just like a hint of flavor, is nutmeg. So you don't need a whole lot. This is about a quarter of a teaspoon. We're going to add that in. And then we're going to add in the heavy cream. Now you could stop at this point if you didn't want to, add in a dairy product. Or, I've never tried it, but maybe I should, is, typically when we're making vegan options, we're adding in either cashew milk, almond milk, soy milk. I think probably with this, if we wanted to make a vegan option, which I'm going to experiment probably and show you all later, is adding in cashew milk. So I think this would make it very good. But today, I already told you in the beginning, we're not about that healthy, the best healthy option. We're going to make this nice and savory. So I'm going to add in, what did I say? This is about a cup of heavy cream. And then we're going to add in our crab. And we're going to let it just simmer down, like maybe for another 5 minutes or so. And it'll be ready to serve. It smells, it looks amazing. Oh my gosh. You're going to be happy, Lindsay. That's the guy behind the camera, that works all the magic. I think he'll be happy with this. He gets all the food along with some other people, mainly me. But I think he's really going to like this. All right. So one thing we'll do is just let it simmer for another about 5 minutes or so. I put in about, I was using crab all day today. So I think I saved off to the side about, I would say like a cup and a half of lump crab. Again, you can use as much or as little as you want. While this was simmering earlier, I took the bacon that we started off with and I made it into like bacon bits. And we're going to top our soup off, our chowder off with that. You can also, if you want to have oyster crackers or just regular saltine crackers, you can also use scallions or chives to top it off with. But like I said, this looks good. So, you see right here, we have our soup, our chowder. I keep calling it soup. It's chowder because it's so creamy. But we are ready to throw down. Well, at least I am, because this looks amazing. And I think you all will enjoy it at home as well. You see, it really didn't take that much time or effort. Just a matter of like letting it simmer and cook down. But you see right here, it's all good and ready to go. And then we're going to take our bacon and top it off with that. Bam. So I'm going to be having a couple other nice soups, sauces, chowders for us to enjoy throughout the fall and winter season. So stay tuned and join us again at Cooking with Sharon. Thanks.